It's estimated that in only a couple of seconds, just a few heartbeats, you can either turn a woman on or create so much disgust that she will never even want to touch you again. Think about that for a second. In the same time it takes to blink, to clear your throat, to look away, you either become the guy she imagines kissing or the guy she silently praised never speaks to her again. Most men don't realize how brutally fast attraction is formed or destroyed. But here's where it gets fascinating. There are numerous psychological triggers, little switches in the female mind that can tilt the odds in your favor almost instantly. These aren't magic tricks or corny pickup lines. These are deeper, primal, subconscious, and the wild part, only a handful of men know about them. Some use them accidentally. Others were taught by women who trusted them enough to reveal what they never say out loud. And trust me, women do not want these secrets circulating, because when you understand what actually turns them on emotionally, psychologically, sexually, you gain an edge that most men will never have. But before we dive into the 8 psychological triggers, we need to answer the real question that nobody ever explains: the root of all attraction, the ultimate core element. What is the one thing, the single emotional spark that always, always, always works with women regardless of age, background, preferences, whatever? It's called sexual tension, or in the beginning, just tension. If you haven't mastered this, nothing else matters. You can be handsome, fit, rich, funny. None of it works until you can create tension. Because for attraction to happen, there must be emotional stimulation. Positive or negative doesn't matter. There just has to be something that sparks inside her. Even emotions like fear of loss, frustration, or that why can't I figure him out? Curiosity. Those are technically negative, but they still spark the connection. But when you create sexual tension, that's when she feels that buzzing sensation, the urge to be close to you, to lean in, to break the tension with touch, with closeness, with intimacy. Sexual tension alone can turn a woman on in seconds. Seconds. But here's the problem. Most men today have no idea how to create it. Zero. They either overdo it and look creepy or underdo it and seem invisible. That's why today, Amelia, from your channel, Dark Psychology, we're breaking down the 8 most important secrets women don't want men to understand. This is Women's Secrets Revealed. Let's dive in. 1. Being well-groomed. Are you someone who actually takes care of himself? Or are you the guy who only looks good when he's out in public, but at home, you look like you've been kidnapped by your couch? A lot of men are completely different people in private versus public. But women notice everything. Your skin, your nails, your beard, your hairline, your scent, even how clean your shoes are. Grooming is not optional. Grooming is strategy. Things like taking care of your skin, having a nicely trimmed beard, choosing a haircut that matches your face shape. These aren't small things. They are massive psychological cues. Why? Because grooming signals discipline, effort, self-respect, and yes, sexual readiness. Women are incredibly detail-oriented. They scan men without even realizing it, but grooming is just one side of the coin. If you look like you're 2 meals away from a heart attack, women won't just lose attraction. They'll feel unsafe. Health and fitness are the foundation of life. Without them, you have no energy, no confidence, no emotional stability. Your body becomes your enemy. You don't need to be shredded, but you do need to be in shape. Because fitness isn't about abs, it's about presence. Grooming is subtle but powerful. Something as small as clean skin and a fresh haircut can add literal points to your attractiveness. Always make sure your beard, hair, and skin are on point when you go out. It's a natural aphrodisiac. It signals this man has his life together. And to a woman, that's sexy. 2. Stylish clothing. If the grooming is done, congratulations. You've already handled the hardest part, but now we move to your armor, your clothing. Most men walk into a store, grab whatever's on sale, and call it a day. But they never think about how clothes fit. Fit is king. Fit is everything. Women don't just see clothes. They see shape. They see posture. They see the story your style tells. Very few men actually have their own style. Most copy trends. But copying trends rarely works because your body, personality, and vibe are unique. Your job isn't to follow. Your job is to signal, to be a trendsetter, not a follower. You don't need expensive brands. You just need intentional choices. Clothes that sit perfectly on your shoulders, jeans that shape your legs, a jacket that gives you structure, colors that complement your skin tone. Look at someone like Jay Waller. He adapts his style to his environment. Boardroom. Sharp, clean, refined, work site. Simple, rugged, masculine, not expensive, just intentional. And this is what women respond to. A man who dresses like he gives a damn. Stylish, well-fitting clothes can literally make women turn their heads without even realizing it. It's an instant psychological cue. This man is put together. This man is desirable. 3. Positive outlook on life. One of the most powerful things you can ever employ in your life is adopting a more positive outlook. Not fake positivity, not Instagram good vibes on only garbage, but real optimism, the kind that gives your presence a glow women can feel. Because here's the truth. Nobody, and I mean nobody, wants to be around a man who is constantly complaining about life, whining about his circumstances, or pointing out every flaw in the world. Life is already heavy. Bills, deadlines, loneliness, pressure. Everyone is carrying something. Women especially carry emotional burdens silently. So, when they meet a man who radiates negativity, it's like adding another weight to their shoulders. Many men have adopted the habits that used to stereotype women: endless gossiping, complaining, exaggerating their problems, dwelling on negativity. They don't realize this comes from a negative mental frame, and that frame bleeds into how they walk, talk, breathe, and exist. A positive outlook isn't about pretending life is perfect. It's about showing her that even when life hits you hard, you remain steady. You choose hope, you choose resilience, and women find this unbelievably attractive because positivity feels safe. But let's be clear, you cannot fake this. Women sense fake positivity in seconds. Their intuition is brutal, sharp, and unforgiving. Once she sees you as fake, you will never win her over again. So, how do you naturally become more positive? You take care of your body. Improved grooming, sleep, and exercise literally change your dopamine baseline. Higher dopamine, higher natural optimism. It's psychology, not magic. A positive man isn't naive man. He's powerful, he's rare, he's the calm in her storm, and that turns women on in ways most men will never understand. 4. Having actual friends. One of the saddest Hollywood-fed fantasies is the lonely man sitting at a bar drowning his sorrows, pouring his heart out to a bartender who doesn't care. Movies make it look poetic. In real life, it's a walking red flag. Life is hard. And women know that if you don't have friends, you might become emotionally dependent on them, and that terrifies them. Having real friends has a massive psychological impact. It tells a woman that you are accepted, valued, supported, that you belong to a pack. Because humans deep down are still pack animals, just more intelligent ones. If you have friends, you laugh more. You experience life more. You share stories, jokes, struggles, and this creates natural confidence, energy, masculinity, things women are magnetically drawn to. But here's the dark truth. If you can't sustain a friendship, you will never sustain a relationship. Women know this, they observe this, they judge this, and they do something even more dangerous. They test this. A lot of men fall into the trap of letting a woman pull them away from their friends. She becomes the center of their world. She controls their time. She becomes their only emotional outlet. And once she realizes she has you fully, game over. She gets bored, she loses respect, she mentally checks out long before she physically leaves. You must maintain your friendships. You must show her that your friends matter. And most importantly, she must respect this. Paradoxically, a woman becomes more attracted when she realizes she is not your only source of happiness. Mystery, scarcity, independence, these things keep her turned on. 5. Subtle confidence. Confidence is one of the most attractive traits a man can have. But here's the twist most men don't understand. Confidence isn't loud. It's not about bragging. It's not about showing off. It's not about dominating a room. That's arrogance, and arrogance is cheap. Confidence is quiet, controlled, measured. The type that doesn't need validation. Confidence is I know who I am. I know what I bring. I don't need to announce it. Women absolutely melt for subtle confidence because subtle confidence is the confidence of a Sigma, a man who has nothing to prove, a man who walks in a room and instantly radiates, I don't need attention, but you will notice me. Women can feel this. They sense it like animals sense a shift in the air before a storm. Subtle confidence makes women curious. Curiosity creates tension. Tension creates attraction. Attraction creates desire. This chain reaction is psychological and incredibly powerful. Men who try too hard, who talk too loud, who pretend to be dominant, never get the woman. Why? Because insecurity screams louder than words. But subtle confidence, that's the silent weapon. If you can master it, you won't have to chase women. They'll chase you. 6. Adding a dash of humor. Life is already too damn serious. Bills, work, family issues, society falling apart. Everyone is tired, stressed, overwhelmed, women especially. Their emotional load is enormous. So when a woman meets a man who is humorless, stiff, negative, or overly serious, it drains her. But when she meets a man who can make her laugh, not like a clown, not like a try-hard comedian, but naturally, subtly, lightly, she feels relief, escape, joy. If you can make a woman laugh, you rewire her emotional state. You create a bond. She begins to associate you with happiness, which is one of the strongest psychological attractions. Humor isn't optional. It's a cheat code. Not sarcastic insults, not self-deprecating jokes, not childish humor, just a dash, a sprinkle that turns regular conversations into moments she remembers. If you can get her smiling, laughing, or smirking, you're already inside her mind. And the moment you're inside her mind, you're only seconds away from being inside her fantasies. 7. Being unpredictable. It's worth noting that society has become highly predictable. People say the same things, dress the same way, follow the same routines, use the same pickup lines, and tell the same boring stories. Everything feels copy-pasted. And with that, men have become predictable too. Women can now predict what a man is going to do or say before he even opens his mouth. She already knows he'll ask for her number. She already knows he'll compliment her dress. She already knows he'll ask boring questions like, "So what do you do for fun?" or "Where are you from?" Predictability kills attraction. It suffocates excitement. It makes you forgettable. There's absolutely no more thrill in dating right now. And this is exactly why relationships fall apart. Everything feels expected. But when you're a little unpredictable, things shift. Her brain lights up. She wonders. She analyzes. She talks about you to her friends because she can't quite figure you out. This means you've gained something very few men ever get: a rent-free mansion inside her mind. Unpredictability doesn't mean being emotionally unstable. Never ever go there. That kind of unpredictability pushes women away and triggers anxiety. The unpredictability you want is behavioral, not emotional. You keep life interesting. You surprise her. You don't follow routines like a robot. You do things she didn't see coming. Positive things, intentional things, things with meaning. Examples: take her somewhere she's never been. Switch up your date style. Say something bold when she least expects it. Keep your schedule full so you're not too available. This form of unpredictability creates mystery. And mystery is one of the strongest psychological aphrodisiacs because mystery forces her mind to obsess. And obsession always leads to attraction. 8. Being assertive, the life-changing secret. Here we arrive at the final trigger, and this one, when done right, can change your life forever. Women are not built to be leaders in romantic dynamics. Yes, some may disagree. And sure, we have strong, powerful women in society. But even with Michelle Obama or Hillary Clinton, it was Barack and Bill who ultimately stood as the leaders in the political spotlight. Women naturally serve in supportive roles when they trust a man's leadership. This isn't about dominance. This isn't about control. This is about direction. Women crave a man who knows where he's going, a man who can take the lead, make decisions, and guide the relationship with confidence and emotional stability. But nowadays, men have become weak, passive, afraid to decide, afraid to lead, afraid to take the initiative. Men today often ask women, "What do you want to do?" What should we eat? What do you think I should wear? And women hate this because it forces them to take the masculine role, a role they don't want. When a woman is forced into leadership because the man is too weak, she slowly loses attraction. Her femininity shuts down. She grows cold, distant, emotionally unavailable. But when you become assertive with kindness, confidence, and clarity, everything changes. Assertive means you take initiative. You lead with calm direction. You make decisions. You communicate clearly. You protect the emotional frame. You know what you want and aren't afraid to say it. Women love a man who can take the lead when it matters. It makes them feel safe. It makes them feel feminine. It makes them feel desired. Being assertive is not about barking commands. It's about being grounded, emotionally stable, purpose-driven, decisive. Most men lack this, and that's why when you show it, you stand out from 99% of men instantly. Once you become the leader of the situation, the man who knows the direction, the man who stands firm, the man who is calm under pressure, women will naturally gravitate toward you. This is the one trick, the one psychological principle that genuinely has a 100% success rate when used correctly. Because at the core of female psychology lies one universal truth. A woman wants a leader she can trust, follow, and feel safe with. Once you become that man, you are no longer chasing women. They are drawn to you like gravity. Let's be honest, women can be complicated. Their emotions shift like weather patterns. Their reactions sometimes feel impossible to predict, but few men ever take the time to understand them. Few men study female psychology. Few men learn what truly sparks desire. And that's why scientists do it for us. If you're still struggling to create instant connection, if you feel invisible, overlooked, or misunderstood, that's okay. It's not your fault. You were never taught this. But now you have the tools. Now you have the psychological keys. Now you understand what most men will never learn. And if you want deeper mastery, deeper insights, deeper psychology, deeper emotional triggers, then you don't want to miss the next video. Because what's waiting for you there might just be the biggest surprise of all. Let's face it, women are incredibly complex creatures, not because they're trying to be confusing, but because they operate on emotional wavelengths most men never access. Women feel everything deeply. They sense danger quickly. They notice micro behaviors men don't even realize they're doing. They analyze tone, timing, intention, consistency, and contradictions in ways that seem almost supernatural. And here's the truth that most men refuse to admit. Women understand men far better than men understand women. Not because they're smarter, but because they're trained by society, survival, and intuition to read the room, to sense who's safe, who's fake, who's weak, and who's worth trusting. But here's the plot twist. Even though women understand men so well, they desperately wish men would understand them. Not the surface level stuff, not the cliches, not the generic be nice, be yourself advice. They want men to understand their emotional code, the hidden psychological triggers, the subtle behaviors, the deep-rooted cravings, the fears, the fantasies, the desires they don't say out loud. And when a man finally gets it, when he understands the tension, the mystery, the confidence, the humor, the unpredictability, and the assertive leadership, a woman feels something rare. She feels seen. She feels safe. She feels excited. She feels alive. And that's why these 8 triggers work. Not because they manipulate, but because they activate the emotional circuitry she already carries inside her. When you combine all 8 triggers, grooming, style, positivity, friendships, subtle confidence, humor, unpredictability, and assertiveness, something incredible happens. Her brain loops, her emotions spike, her curiosity ignites, her fantasies begin. Her body responds, and suddenly you're unforgettable. This is the reason attraction can flip in seconds. The female mind makes snap judgments faster than male logic can comprehend. A single look, a single laugh, a single moment of subtle confidence or assertive leadership. And she feels the spark not because she chooses it, but because her instincts do. This is the hidden truth behind attraction psychology. The truth that most men will never learn or will never accept. But you now understand it. The real question now is, what do you do with this knowledge? Because once you understand what turns women on, you also begin to see the darker side of human behavior, how manipulation happens, how seduction can be misused, how vulnerability becomes power, how attraction becomes addiction, how one wrong move can flip her feelings from love to disgust to obsession. Human psychology has a light side and a shadow side, and here on Dark Psychology, we explore both. So, if you think these 8 triggers were eye-opening, you haven't seen anything yet, because in the next video, we're diving even deeper into the hidden behaviors, secret fantasies, and psychological tactics women use when they want you and when they're testing you. And trust me, some of what you'll learn next will shock you. If you want the next level of understanding, if you want to see through female behavior like an X-ray, if you want to master not just attraction but influence, presence, and emotional control, then click on the next video waiting for you on the screen because that video changes everything.